Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Gateway to IT. Today we are going to discuss a solution that you might find useful in your environment as well. A number of times the users find it difficult to locate the software center on client when asked. Therefore, you might get a request from your management to put the software center look icon on all your users' desktop or laptops to make it more approachable to the user or to whomsoever who needs access to it. Before we proceed with the video, I would like to give a one disclaimer here that the solution worked well for me, but since every environment is unique, so would encourage you to test it thoroughly before you deploy it in your production environment so that it works for you as well. So with that said, let's get started. So in order to have the desktop icon, we have created a few scripts that I'd like to share with you. The first is the create shortcut script that actually contains the script to put the icon on the desktop. So let me show you the script. Here I would like to give the credit to the user who created this script because this is something that I've not written. It has been written by someone else and I found it useful. That's why I'm sharing it. So credit to the script owner. As you can see, that this script file, this is the VBS script, and here are some settings that you need to take care of before you actually configure it as an application and deploy it using SCCM. So here you can see that I have put the name of my company or name of my channel Gateway to IT Software Center link, and I also have given the name of my company over here in Software Center as Gateway to IT Software Center. So this is what actually our software center link on the desktop would be renamed to. And here I have also given a shortcut key that when the user presses the shortcut key on their desktop, it will open the desktop software center icon for them. So with this script, I created two other scripts. One is the link push. This is the script that I've written myself, and what it does, it actually start the scripts to to create the icon when it is pushed. It is actually you know because we know when the content is transferred to the client, um, there is a folder that is created with the random name with this particular parameter. I'm instructing the script to start the script from the folder where it has been downloaded, and after it has downloaded and created the script, it will actually create an icon gateway to IT software center link on the C drive, and from where it will be moved to the C user's public desktop. Similarly, if suppose we need to remove the icon in future, I have created this other script which actually when deployed through SCCM removes the icon, but you need to make sure that you give the correct name. The name is of the most utmost important. If you do not name it correctly, it may not work for you. It may not work to delete it, or may not work to create it. So with that said, let me now go to our SSM server and create a package with the settings mentioned. So let me open my software, my SSM console. So now the SSM console is open. So I'm going to make the application. Before that, I would like to save this folder where I have all my three applications to my source location from where I'm going to create the application. So I'm browsing to my source location, and my source location is over here. I'm pasting the folder that contains all the script that we require for this application rebuild, application creation. So here you can see I'm copying the source location for the source content location for this particular script. I'm going back to my SCCM console. From here, I'd click on create application. Once I click on create application, I'm going to click on manually specify the application. And because right now, as you are not able to see the next button, so I'm moving the taskbar to the corner, and now we are able to see the button. So I'm clicking on next. Here I need to give a suitable name, so I'm giving it gateway to IT software center. And if you want, you can give a administrative comment and then click on next, because I'll be creating all the settings. So I'm just creating this blank application. I'll be creating all the settings in the deployment type. Let me click on next, and click on next, and click on next. So what I've done, I've created a blank application right now, and after the application is created, I will be creating a deployment type with all the scripts that we have. So now we need to locate the script that we have, locate the application that we have created, the blank application that we have created. And once we are able to locate it, mm, let me see. So I named it as Gateway to IT Software Center link. So here you can see it. I am going to the deployment type. After click on deployment type, I'm going to click on create deployment type. Once I click on deployment type, it is going to ask me for some parameters. So I'm selecting the script installer from the drop down. Click on next. Here I'm giving create software center icon for the program name. Click on next. Here it asks the control location, so I'm going to provide the control location that I copied earlier. And here I need to provide it the script that we created to put the icon on the desktop. So the name of the script that we need to select, because this is the script that is going to push the link to the desktop. So I'm going to select link push script. Once we put on uh, push link script, we can now choose the remove script that, if deployed, will remove the icon from the desktop. So it is in the same folder. So I select link remove, and once we do that, we can click on next. Here we need to create the detection method through which it will detect if the icon has been created or not, and we'll be able to get the detailed report when we pull the deployment reports. So let me add it to the uh, detection type. Sorry. So I'm clicking on add clause. I click on add clause. Once I click on add clause, I need to make sure that I have the file system selected. Once we have the file system selected, we need to actually give the name of the location where this file will be found. So it will be by default, uh, saved to the user icon will be copied to users, public, and desktop. And the name, as I told you earlier, that the name is of the prime importance. So we need to find, we need to check the name, and we need to give the same name for the icon, otherwise the detection method will fail. So I am going to copy it over here. So now you can see it has the name that we want it to be, with which we want it to be on the desktop. So I'm going to uncheck this. Our detection method is ready, so we click on OK, and then we click on next. Here I want it to be installed for system, whether the user logs on or not, so that when the user log on, he will be able to find this icon on the desktop. So I click on whether or not, and I want to just keep it completely hidden. For the estimated time of installation, well, it's not going to take much time, but still I like to give, say, in like next 30 minutes. And we can keep the maximum load run time to the default. Click on next. For requirement, because I want it to be available on all the operating systems, so I'll select the operating system, and because it's a VB script, so it is already backward compatible. So I'm going to select all the operating system, but you can run a test in your environment to whatever operating system you want it to be deployed, and then make the selection appropriately. So make sure that you do the testing as I said in the disclaimer. So click on OK. Once we click on OK, we need to click on next, and click on next. So while this is running, as soon as it completes, the application will be created. And once the application is created, we need to go ahead and distribute it to a distribution point so that it's available for deployment. So now that the deployment type has been created, I'm going to distribute it to the distribution point that I have available. I have a single distribution point available in my company at the moment, so it should not take much time. So here from the drop down, I select the distribution point and click on next. Now that it has been distributed, I want to check the distribution status by going to the distribution status under monitoring and check the content status. Here, let me check the content status for the recently created application because it was a very small application. So you can see that it has been distributed to the only distribution point that we have at the moment. So now that it has been distributed, I think we are at a position where we can distribute it. We can actually deploy to the collection to the users where we want the desktop icon to be created. So I have already created a custom collection where I have all my clients, all my active SSM clients available, and which I use for testing any new application that I create. So I'm going to deploy this application now here. Application that I've created, I click on deploy. Once I click on deploy, it gives me an option to browse for the collection. I browse the device collection, go to the custom collection that I have, click on OK, click on next, click on next, and I want it to be a required one so that, and make sure you have the action selected as install because we already have an uninstall command also. So because I want to deploy it to all the workstation in my environment. So I'm selecting the action as install and click on next after that. And I want it to be available as soon as possible. So the default option is good for me. Clicking on next. And because this is for demonstration purpose, so I just select display in software center and show all notification. Otherwise you can go ahead and select the option where it only shows the notification for the restart, or if you want to completely hide all the notification, it's up to you. But I'm going to select, I'm going to accept the default display in software center and show all notification. And because you might have maintenance window in your environment, so I'm just selecting the option to select software installation um, outside of the maintenance window. And let me tell you, this desktop this icon deployment does not require your machine to be rebooted, so it is pretty safe. But if you select this option, definitely your machine will be forced reboot by the SCCM. So make sure that you select the software installation and keep the system restart unchecked and click on next. Once you click on next, here we don't need to make any selection on the alerts tab, so click on next. Where here we have the summary, we make sure that the settings that we have selected are correct, review it, and then click on next. Now we are seeing the progress bar and we are at the completion screen. And once we review it, we can click on close. And now I'd like to go to the monitoring tab to monitor the success of our deployment. So let me click on monitoring. It's taking some time here, so please bear with me. Just select the application, and from here I like to select the I would like to right click on the deployment and click on view status. Once I click on view status, I see that right now there is no report available. So I go to one of my client workstation where I'd like to see this application be deployed. So let me check it. So here I have one of my client that we have an SSM environment. So right now, as you can see, I don't have the desktop icon available. So I'm going to find the software center icon, and you can see how many clicks I have to do in order to get to the software center to find out the software center and see the deployment status from there. So the user might be facing the same issue. That's why the management asked me to do that. So let's wait for the software center to open. So you can see that the application is now available, and then the installation is complete. And now if I go to my desktop of this machine, I should be able to see the Gateway to IT Software Center installed. As you can see, it's over here. So the application that we created to create the software icon, software center icon, is working perfectly fine. So now as you can see, that the icon has been created. So also as we monitor the status of our deployment, we can see that right now it is successful on one of the clients on which we did the testing, and that means that a software icon is visible over there. Similarly, because we have created both the install and uninstall method, if you want to remove the software center icon in future from the entire environment where you have deployed the solution, you can go ahead and do the uninstall, and it should be able to remove the icon from the desktop. So I hope that you find the solution useful, and it helps you solve the problem in your environment. So if you like our work, please subscribe to our channel and do share it with your colleagues. Thank you. Have a great day.